So this video is a tutorial on how to use the AutoTabGroup extension. First, as you can see, if you click on delete group or edit app group, it does nothing because in order to add a rule, you have to click the checkbox first. Then we'll type in a value for the name and a value for the URL. The name value is the group name that the tabs will sort by, and the URL is the value that it looks for in the browser URL to sort the group. I'll give an example of this in a moment, but for now this is just an overview on how to set up rules. So for now we'll set up 3 rules called test1, test2, test3 with the same values of URLs being test1, test2, and test3. The final value is color, and it's the color of the tab group that must be set as well, or else it throws an error message. You can also select and edit multiple groups at a time for a total of 3 tab group rules. Alright, so now here's an example of the tool in action with the rules we just set. So if I type in a tab without any of the rules that I set, nothing happens. But let's see what happens if I type test1. As you can see, it organizes it in a group associated with that color. Test2 brings up the group of the other color. Test3 is the final rule. Now, if I go back to the first tab and type test1 again, it groups it into the same tab as test1. Group in test2, same thing. And you can also delete out a tab group completely, like test3 here, and if you go back in and assign it back to test3, as you can see, it creates a new tab group called test3, and then we'll just do one more tab that goes straight into test3. Misspelled that a bit, but test3. There we go. So there's an example of the tool in action. As discussed earlier, you can also edit rules that you've already set by checking them first. We'll change some values here. And also, if you try to click outside of it, it disables it by default. Again, this is just to prevent errors. But once you have your values changed, just click Save Group. And as you can see, if I refresh things here, everything's still present with the new changes. And you can also edit multiple rules at the same time. And these rules also save to your Google profile, so should sync across browsers as long as you're signed into the same account. And here's an overview of Delete Group. You have the option to go back by hitting the X button or the go back button, but if you want to confirm deleting the rule, you just click the confirm button. This will delete the group rule both in this pop-up tool and on the back end so that your tabs will no longer sort to that rule.